All right. So welcome everyone to Sports Recruits One-on-One and navigating the recruiting process. Before we really jump into the material tonight, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kayla Schaal. I am a customer success specialist here at Sports Recruits, and I'm a Mount Aloysius College soccer student athlete, alum. I graduated back in 2023. So I'm really excited to be hosting tonight's webinar to really dive in deeper into the resources that Sports Recruits has for you guys in the recruiting process. So, Sports Recruits, I think we pride ourselves in that we're not just a platform, but we're a network that connects high school students, athletes, parents, clubs, and high schools, along with college coaches and event operators, all in the recruiting process and space to help create opportunities for all stakeholders involved. We have over 500,000 athletes within the current high school age that are active and using our platform. We work with and partner with over 1,500 clubs and have around 10,000 club and high school staff that also use the platform. We also have 60,000 plus college coaches that are constantly using Sports Recruits, and that is across 28,000 college programs in a variety of different sports. We also work with over 500 plus events from different tournaments and showcases throughout the year across a variety of sports as well. So just for tonight's agenda, we're going to go over the importance of building online exposure in the recruiting process. We're going to also discuss building out your target list of schools and how to use some features such as the favoriting tool and the school search tool and the roster needs filter on the Sports Recruit platform to do so. We'll also discuss the importance of video throughout the recruiting process and how you can upload video to your Sports Recruit profile. We'll also discuss how to message college coaches and what to say and when. And then at the end, we'll discuss the different resources that we at Sports Recruits have available for you all. And I'll also leave some time at the end for a question and answer session. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, you can go right ahead and throw them in the chat, and we will be sure to set some time aside at the end to answer them. And I think it's also important to note that this webinar is being recorded and you will be sent a copy of this tomorrow. But you can also access all of our previous webinars on our webinar landing page if you're interested as well. All right, so jumping into some things here, we're going to really dive into the importance of online exposure. So, this is really where your recruiting process starts so coaches can connect with you and eventually communicate with you. And this really starts by building out your student athlete profile on Sports Recruits. This profile is how you're going to be marketing yourself to college coaches throughout the recruiting process. With athlete discovery tools, college coaches actually have the ability to filter through different criteria for athlete searches and feeds based on the available information on your student athlete profile. So this includes academic information, things such as class year and GPA, athletic information, such as position. They can also filter to see if you have video visible on your profile, and they can also filter by using the interested in us filter. So if you look to the right here, you'll see what a student athlete profile looks like with video to a college coach. And then in the bottom right corner, you'll see what a student athlete profile without video visible looks like to them. And I think it's just important to look at this and realize how much more appealing it is for a college coach to look at a profile with video than one without it. College coaches are much more likely to skip over a profile if there is no video available. So we recommend taking the time to put video on your profile, but also filling out these essential information such as class year, GPA, position, so you can meet the criteria when college coaches are filtering through their different searches. It's also cool that they can filter by the interested in us tab. So student athletes who have favorited their program, they can filter for that, but they can also filter for student athletes who have sent them a message directly through the platform. So I think it's really important to emphasize that every tool and feature on the Sports Recruit platform has a purpose, and you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of that, taking advantage of those resources to make sure you are putting your best foot forward in front of college coaches. Having a completed profile, taking the time to build that out and putting video and using these resources is just going to help you come across as more discoverable than someone who is maybe not doing those things or doesn't have access to these resources. So now really jump into building your target list of schools. So this feature is related to the school search tool that we have available to you on the platform. So we at Sports Recruits recommend that student athletes add anywhere between 20 to 30 schools to start. And this may seem like a lot, but it's important to cast a wide net when you're in the recruiting process. This process is fluid and your target list is going to change frequently over the course of your recruiting process. So it's important not to narrow your search and limit yourself at the start. It's also important to consider these 5 factors when building out your target list of schools. So thinking about academically, do they have your major? Are you challenged? Do they have things that you're interested in academically? The athletic component. So what level do you see yourself at? Do you want to, where do you see yourself on the field? Those types of questions you need to be asking yourself. Geographically, some student athletes want to live farther away from home. They want to be in a warmer climate. So making sure you're asking yourself those questions as you're starting to build out this list. The social component. So if there's a certain student population that fits, your personality, if Greek life's important to you, and then obviously the financial component as well. Are you eligible for scholarships, financial aid, those types of questions? I think it's important when you're going through this process to have a holistic picture and really pick schools that are aligning with all of your goals and not just the athletic component. We always like to reference the broken leg test. So if you go to a school and for a sport and you somehow get hurt, would you still go to that school? Would you still enjoy your time on campus without necessarily playing that sport? So it's really important that you're picking schools that are going to help you not just athletically, but all of these other components as well. So using the school search tool, you can actually search and filter for every college program in the country, which is really, really unique. And you can do this by narrowing your search based on different criteria that is specific to you. This can include academic selectivity, different majors offered, athletic conference and division, or if you're looking in a specific state or region, you can apply these filters and then search for schools that match that criteria. This will then populate a list for you in the school search feature. And from there, you can simply message them, favorite them, and add them to your favorites list, which we'll go over in a little bit. But you can also click on a specific school, and that will take you to the specific school's landing page. On this landing page, there's going to be it'll include all of the essential school information. So athletic overview, student faculty ratios, admission rates, financial aid information on that school's profile, just so you and your coaches, your family members can have a high level understanding of that college. And then from there, you can make a decision on if you want to add them to your list. In the school search tool as well, you can use the roster needs filter. So the roster needs are open spots that a college is recruiting for upcoming class years. Now, this is super powerful because needs are published and maintained directly by college coaches on the Sports Recruits platform. So we at Sports Recruits are not updating these needs. College coaches are proactively doing this themselves based on roster spots that they need to be filled. So at a minimum, a roster need is either an athletic position and a class year, but sometimes coaches will take it the extra step and add additional requirements for athletes to become a full match on their school search tool. So some athletes and coaches will require that athletes have video, a certain GPA, or meet a certain athletic benchmark to show that they are a full match for that roster spot. So as I mentioned earlier, you can favorite a school. And what this means is essentially, see this little heart to the right on this little video here. That essentially means that that school has been favorited. And you can do this in a multitude of areas throughout the platform. You can do it directly on the activity feed. You can do it in the school search function, or you can do it on the school profile, that school landing page that we talked about previously. What this does is once you favorite a school, it will automatically store your favorites list in an organized target list for you to access and keep for your personal reference as you move through the recruiting process. The great thing about this organizational tool is that you can categorize these schools as fit, reach, and safety. You can rank them. So if you have a certain rank, your number one school, your number two school, you can do that right in your target list of schools. And you can also categorize them by last contact. So how you're reaching out to them and things of that sort. So it's a really great way for you as parents, as student athletes, as coaches to really help everyone stay organized throughout this process. It's right in your school tab in your Sports Recruits profile, and it allows you to keep everything in one place. You don't have to worry about having 3 different tabs open or working out of a Google Excel sheet. Everything's right here for you. And like I said earlier, you can delete schools, reorganize them the way that fits for you at that specific time in your recruiting process. So now we're going to transition into the importance of video throughout the recruiting process. So why is video important? Video is extremely important because college coaches use video to analyze and evaluate the student athlete performance. Effective video on your Sports Recruits profile can be a strong first impression with a college coach. College coaches use this video to follow your athletic development. So if you are a younger player, they are going to want to watch your video from when you were a freshman all the way through from when you're a senior to see if you have progressed and developed. I also think it's really important that you have video on your profile because college coaches are extremely busy, right? Some college coaches are teaching, some college coaches have multiple practices a day, they're going to events, they're prepping for games, right? So a lot of these coaches are taking the time to recruit by their phones, by their tablets. So making sure that you have video accessible to them is going to be the way that they can honestly evaluate you and analyze your performance. So there's different types of video that we like to classify here at Sports Recruits and the different types of video that should be on your account for a college coach to make a proper evaluation of you and your athletic abilities. So those are highlight reels, skills videos, and raw footage. So highlight reels, which probably many of you are familiar with, are clips from live competition, events, showcases, things of that sort. You want to include your best clips in this, and you want this highlight reel to be some of your 10 to 20 best clips, showing a variety of different skills that really captivates that coach's attention and grabs their attention and really impresses them off the bat. You want this video to be no more than 2 minutes to really grab that college coach's attention. From there, you want to have a different amount of video and skills and raw footage so they can make other evaluations of you as well. So you want to include clips from practice footage, demonstrating different skills, whether you're in a one-on-one setting with a coach or a trainer, or you're in a practice setting as well. You can also include different angles from drills in these skills videos, just so they can see what you're capable of. We also think it's important for you to include raw footage. This is live and unedited game footage. So whether that's a full game, a half a game, or a quarter, we think this is really important because based on our conversations with college coaches, we've recognized that they really like to evaluate athletes in the middle of a game, right? How are you interacting with your coaches? How are you interacting with your teammates, officials? What are you doing in the middle of a game if you're losing? Like, how are you responding? Those are really important factors for college coaches to look at while they're recruiting you. So it's important to have a good mix of highlight reel, skills videos, and raw footage in your video library that's accessible to college coaches. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways that you can add video to your video library on Sports Recruits. And I think it's important to note that because we value this and we value video and we see this as recruiting and an important factor in recruiting, we give you guys the unlimited amount of opportunity to upload as much video as you want, essentially. So you can upload video and limited games, highlight reel, skills videos, as many as you want to your video library. You can also connect video from video partners such as Sideline HD and Ball Time directly. You can also embed video from YouTube, Huddle, or Vimeo. And I think it's also important to note here, if you look to the right, you can actually have control over what videos are visible to college coaches and which ones are not, just by a simple toggle. So if you see here, these videos are all visible because they are toggled green, and you can see it says visible. And if you look in the bottom right corner here, this is not visible on the profile. Also, that's something to keep in mind as well. If you're working on different highlight reels or editing them, you can mark them as unvisible to college coaches as you're developing these different reels and skills videos. All right. So we understand that video is tough and editing videos can be complicated. So we have some tools and resources available for you guys to use. And one of them is the highlight reel editor that's found right in the video tab of your profile. You can create clips from any uploaded film to build reels directly from your profile and by using video that's in your video library directly. It's a very simple tool to use. And again, everyone has access to that right in your video library. And you can use this to publish reels directly to your profile, and you can also send them to college coaches directly. If you are looking for some more personalized help with with film and with the video process, we do have a professional post-production team. And I'll be dropping some information with our recruiting specialists if you want to learn more about that. They can provide more one-on-one support for some of those professional reel options. So moving into messaging college coaches and how to communicate with them. So we always get asked the question, when should I be reaching out to college coaches and what should I be saying? So I think it's messaging a college coach directly is one of the best ways to get your information in front of them directly. Obviously, filling out your profile, uploading video is a great first step, but messaging the college coach and creating that communication is the second piece of the puzzle. So what are the reasons you should be messaging a college coach? The first reason is obviously to introduce yourself. So introducing yourself to the coaching staff before and after events, letting them know your schedule, new or updated highlighted videos, new transcripts. If you're a junior or senior, updated test scores. If you just had a great season or you just want to give them a little overview of your in-season updates, that's always a great way to reach out. Or just generally asking questions or more information about the program, because coaches are always willing to help you as well. I think there's no set in stone answer or number for how many times you should be reaching out to a coach. But we always say if there's something that is new or that's related to the recruiting process that you feel as though you should share with them, then you should be reaching out to them. Anything that's related to the college process, you can make that a message to a college coach. And we also provide templates for you guys to use, as you can see here to the right. If you don't know where to start or what to say, we have those available on our knowledge base, and we'd be happy to help as well. So moving into the messaging system and how to actually start that communication and initial outreach with college coaches. So the Sports Recruits database contains college contact info for every athletic program in the country. And we are updating this database constantly. So we can ensure that this data is accurate and up to date. So when you want to go message a coach, so for example, if I wanted to message Mount Aloysius College Soccer, I could simply just type in Mount Aloysius College in that search bar, and the coaches will automatically populate, and that information will automatically be embedded for you in the message. You can type out your message, and then every message you sent, your profile, Sports Recruits profile link will automatically be embedded and included in every message you send to every college coach. So essentially, what that will do is that will allow college coaches to be able to click on that link and have direct access to your student profile after reading the message that they've received from you. All of these messages are delivered directly to their personal inbox. So it looks as though it's coming from a normal email address from the messaging system to the college coach. So it's going right to their Gmail account, Outlook account, as well as to a college coach's Sports Recruits inbox as well. So they're getting notified in two places that you're messaging them. And this is going to provide a lot of transparency for you all throughout the recruiting process. So with College Coach Views, like I said, that tracked athlete profile link included in your messages is going to bring college coaches directly to your profile. And this will also give them information on your profile, and it's going to notify you directly in real time when they view something and view information on your profile. You're going to get notified whether they just view your general profile and are clicking around, if they click on a certain video, if they look at your transcripts or press links. And this honestly just provides huge transparency for you all throughout the recruiting process, because it will give you realistic expectations at who's looking at your profile, what they're looking at, how many times they're looking at it, so you can make those objective decisions and continue to build out that target list. So we have a bunch of sports recruit resources here at Sports Recruits that are here to help you and here to assist you throughout the recruiting process. We know it can be a lot and overwhelming sometimes. So we have our knowledge base, which includes a lot of knowledge base articles and how-to videos about the profiles in general. We have our webinars, like I mentioned earlier. We record all of our webinars and we post those past recordings on our webinar landing page, and we cover a multitude of different topics in the recruiting space. So if you're interested, you can definitely check those out. We also have our recruiting resource center and blog, which includes articles with recruiting advice, news, and best practices and tips. And you can also always reach out to us directly. So I'm on the customer success team here. Some of you may have had interactions with me if you needed help, just getting into your account, questions, platform training, or if you just had feedback in general. Our team, we really pride ourselves in giving you guys great service and getting back to you as quickly as we can. So if you have any questions, you can contact us directly at help@sportsrecruits.com, and we'd be happy to help as well. All right, but that is, now it's time for Q&A. That's all the information I have. But before we jump into that, I'm actually going to drop one of our recruiting analysts' information in the chat. So if any of our free users that are on tonight are looking for more of a hands-on, one-on-one session and want to learn more about the different recruiting guidance packages that we have available at Sports Recruits, you can book a call, a one-on-one call directly with our recruiting analyst. And they would be happy to walk through some of those options with you. So I'm just going to drop that in the chat here really quick. And let's see if we've had some questions come in. All right. And if you guys have questions now, feel free to drop them in as we continue going. Yes, so someone asked, will you have a recording of this presentation so I can show my family? Yes, we will. It will be distributed tomorrow, but it will also be available online after tomorrow as well. Someone asked too, can college coaches see my favorites list? The answer is no. So that favorites list is just for you and you only. The only thing that college coaches will know is if you favorited their specific program. They're not going to look at they don't have access to your specific list. However, they can see if you have favorited their specific program, and that's it. Okay, sorry, just a lot of questions coming in here. At what point do you start to recommend I start uploading videos to my profile? We recommend starting as soon as possible. You can start as early as your freshman year, and just including some of the various types of video that we discussed tonight, your skill set, your, if you have raw game footage, things of that sort. Anything is helpful, just so college coaches can watch you grow and advance, right? And continuing to update that as you continue to move on throughout your recruiting process. Is there a time that's too late to email college coaches? Um, I would say no. If you're in the time period of getting recruited and you're genuinely, interested in their program, I would say no, as long as you have one of those things that we discussed tonight to reach out to them about, whether that's video or an event schedule. Um, I think that's you can still reach out regardless. Um, Will there be other like videos and webinars such as this one? Yes, there will be. Like I mentioned earlier, we do record all of our webinars and they are accessible on our webinar landing page and our YouTube as well. So you can go back and rewatch this if you have any other questions or if you just want more information. We also run Sports Recruits one-on-one every month. So if you're interested in coming and returning next month to just get some, say the same information or a little bit more, you're always invited back, and that registration can be found on our landing page as well. What is the difference between a free account and a paid account? That's a great question, and that's something that our recruiting specialist can answer. So if you're interested in learning more about the different packages we have and the differences in a free versus a paid account, I recommend scheduling a call directly with one of our recruiting specialists through that link I just sent, and they'll be able to answer those questions for you. Couple more questions coming in here. Should I send my club schedule or high school schedule to coaches? I think this is a really great question. It really just depends. We recommend if they're in the area, you could send the high school schedule. If they're going to be in an event that you're aware of, I would recommend sending a club schedule. Typically, college coaches are attending club events and club big showcases and tournaments and things of that sort. But I recommend sending both and just letting them know, just so they're in the loop. Does your program have a general introduction to coaches format, or is it best to write it yourself? We do have a general introduction message that can be found on our Sports Recruits Resource Center. You can just type in on Google or your Google search Sports Recruits Resources, and you can type in what to say or how to message a college coach, and that should populate. We also have that available on our knowledge base as well. All right. Got one time for one more question here. Um, Sorry guys, a lot coming in here. I'm just trying to look through. Another question on the messaging system, where can I find the format on how to email a college coach? Like I said, you can go on our Sports Recruits knowledge base and look there, or you can go on our blog. And those resources are available to you directly in your Sports Recruits account as well. So if you go to the My Account tab in your Sports Recruits account and hit the drop down little bar thing, you'll be able to access the webinars, the blog, and the resource center directly from your account as well. What happens, time for our last question, guys, here, and then like I said, this will be available to you, and if you have any other questions, again, you don't hesitate to reach out to our help desk and we'd be happy to help as well. I have Sports Recruits account through my club. What happens to my profile if I change clubs? Would there be a way for me to continue my account or profile if I join a different club? The answer is yes, absolutely. If you change clubs, we would be happy to look to see if your new club is integrated with us on the platform. And if not, that'd be a great time to speak to one of our recruiting specialists to learn more about the different packages we have. Again, that link is in the chat. But like I said, guys, it was great talking to you all tonight. And if you have any further questions, again, you can always reach out to us at help@sportsrecruits.com and we'd be happy to help. But we're looking forward to just continuing to provide these resources for you, and best of luck throughout the rest of your recruiting process. Have a good night, guys.